Hi guys, welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And today I'm going to talk about the books that I, hopefully, am going to read in March. So my March TBR. Now, this is going to be kind of like a wild, well, first of all, it's going to be boring because it's going to be super short because it's a bunch of, hey, I'm going to continue the series that I am buddy reading or starting, or already started. But also, it's a crapshoot because this is a weirdly busy month that I'll either have a lot of time to read or no time at all to read. Because mid-month, on like the 13th, I am taking like 35 kids to Rome, and I have to chaperone them. And so it remains to be seen how much reading I'll get done on those days. We have some travel time, but I don't know if the travel time is going to be spent being talked to or if I'm going to be able to do any reading there. So it may just like slash my month in half because we're gone for 9 days doing that. And then a week after that, the last 3 days of the month, we have my state competition for the kids. And I know I'm not going to have any time to read during that time. So the last 3 days, basically it's another February, but with 9 days cut out of the middle. So I have no idea what I'm going to be able to read. But you know, without wasting any more time,
Let's get down to business.
we might as well talk about the stuff that I'm going to try to read. So, whatever. So first up is going to be Boosh, Dictator, or Dictator, by Robert Harris. This is the concluding volume of the Cicero trilogy, and the read-along that has been mostly successful for the first quarter of the year. So we'll be concluding with this. This is basically Julius Caesar's rise to power through Cicero's point of view. And just in case you haven't read it and don't know the history, I won't spoil a whole bunch, other than the fact that Julius Caesar becomes dictator of Rome. Like, you should definitely know that part, and then he's assassinated. Everybody knows that. And if you didn't know that, how? Like, how do you not know that Julius Caesar was assassinated by the Senate? So anyway, so we'll be reading this. Me and Kyle and Anitha, I'm sure we'll talk about it. Hopefully, you know, someone else can jump on board. But otherwise, the three of us have had a blast discussing the first one. We'll probably be discussing the second one this weekend. But this has been a great, great trilogy. It is just, it's like written for me. It's political thriller, political intrigue, legal thriller, starring Cicero, who's a twerp, but you really see just the hold your nose and close your eyes aspect of politics.
Hold your nose and close your eyes.
That is often, you know, not included in fantasy books, but is definitely included in modern day politics. It's just so good, so readable, especially for someone who likes Roman history. Next up is Boosh. And this is The Iron War by Paul Kearney. So this is book 3 of the Monarchies of God. The first one was Hawkwood's Voyage, and the second one was The Heretic Kings. So this is a bind-up of the last 3 books of that series. I really enjoyed the first 2, and the third one is really short. It's like 280 pages, which is awesome. I don't know if I'm going to like it as much as I like the first 2, because the character that I hate the most in the first 2 is, I think, one of the main focuses in this third book, and I'm not going to like that at all. I'm not going to like it at all. I hate when they are in the book. Like, one of the main reasons I like book 2 better than book 1 is because they were sidelined for the mostly of book 2. So I don't know about them being moved to the forefront again. I'm not sure I'm going to like that at all. But it is, I mean, it's about a holy war and about, you know, again, you can't really talk much about the third book of a series in case anybody wants to read the first 2 books. But it is about a holy war, not just against the encroaching, barbarian hordes, but also a holy war within, where the church has, like, had a schism. And so they're going to fight each other because why not? But there's also this weird supernatural element that was introduced in the last book for sure, which is, whoa, okay, I guess we're going there. So, we'll see how that turns out as well. I'm definitely going to read that because it's only 280 pages and it'll be easy to get through. Next is going to be Boosh, Elven Star by Margaret Wise and Tracy Hickman. This is book 2 of the Deathgate cycle. So I read book 1, Dragon Wing, this last month, and I really liked it. I think it holds up a lot. There's some dumb stuff in it that feels like a 90s fantasy novel. And the bad guy, like one of the bad guys, his name is, he's a wizard who named himself Sinistrad. And he says dumb crap like, if you marry me, you marry the darkness. I'm not lying to you. I am evil. I will always be evil, my dear. It's just so stupid. It's laughably stupid. But the world is really cool. The world that's been kind of split into four, and this is the world of air. Elvenstar takes place in the world of fire because there's this never setting suns, and there's this huge like tropical rainforest where the elves live in the treetops, and the dwarves live on the ground, and they freaking hate each other. But there's these huge things called titans that are running around, and they can reach up in the tree, and they eat the elves and the dwarves and stuff, and so Haplo is going to find himself there and deal with it. And Haplo is just such a great main character and kind of an anti-hero sent there to destabilize the worlds. And his dog is freaking awesome. He can like hear things through his dog, so he's always sending his dog to like spy on people because everyone's like, "Oh, doggy," and they pet the dog. But Haplo can hear everything the dog says. So the first one was great. The second one I'm hoping is also great. It's just, I don't know, they just feel really different despite having some, classical elements in them. But it's still got Haplo. I love how, he is on the side of the characters, but also working against the characters subtly. I don't know. It's just really, really good. So I'll probably read that as well. I'm not sure. That's less of a certainty, but I'm going to try to read Elvenstar this month as well. I'm kind of torn. I may read Elvenstar, but I also may read Boosh, The Colors in Steel by K.J. Parker. This is book one of the Fencer trilogy, and this is K.J. Parker's first published novel. My friend Kristen over at Seeking Stories, she read it and posted a great review of it right there. This is a world in which lawsuits are settled by fencing rather than in a court of law. The court of law is fencing, and that's really all I know about it, other than it is Parker's first published novel, and, I expect to see the same kind of things that I normally see with Parker. Heroes that you root for but aren't really great people, and, a lot of gray morality and humor in the narrative while also being incredibly bleak. So that's what I assume. That's what I assume is going to happen, but I've also never read any of K.J. Parker's trilogy. We're definitely reading the Engineer trilogy in the last 3 months of this year, but I may start one or, read this one prior to that. This book is longer than any of his other standalones, any of the standalone novels I've read, while also being the first of a trilogy. So I'm eager to see what kind of story Parker can tell over the course of 3 novels instead of just a standalone one. For other books that may be read, I am still reading Shogun. I will definitely finish up Shogun this month, reading it with Alex and Tori and Joanna. Everyone hates it, but I don't. I like it. I think it's an absolute masterpiece of historical fiction. But, book 3 should be called The Civilization of Anjin-san. So it's not super exciting, but it's just fascinating as far as becoming culturally wed to this new culture and purging like the aspects of your barbarism or whatever. But the last third of the book is super exciting, and I know a lot of stuff that happens in the third part of the book, and I'm really, really excited. So I'll definitely read that because we've had discussions. You'll probably see the second discussion of that coming up this weekend as well. Other things, still need to read Crowfall. Still might start the Scarab Path, book 5 of Shadows of the Apt. I am also currently a little more than halfway through The Way of Adan by Philip Chase, my good buddy Philip Chase. So more to come on that front. I have also started Way of Kings, which I'm sure a bunch of people will be excited for. And I can see your excitement spren coming through the screen right now. So be on the lookout for my wrap-up when you see Strumpet Spren popping all around. And I don't even know what those would look like, but I'm only 60 pages in. I'm only on chapter 3, I guess the first Shallan chapter, and we'll see. We'll see. But I am reading it because my lovely wife is reading it. She's more than halfway done, and she wanted me to read it with her, not wait till she's done and read it after her. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it and just read it slowly, and so that way we can discuss it, which will be fun. And then she and I will come on and we'll have a joint review, which will be very, very fun. But that'll be months coming, so it's not coming soon. But in the future months, be on the lookout for that. So yeah, I'll also be finishing up the Father of Lies short story collection by K.J. Parker. I've only got a few stories left in there. I read one short story every time I finish a book. So I'll be wrapping that up. I'll also be reading Heroes of Chaos, the arc that I have, because it's out like March 12th, I think, which is book 2 of the Yellow Kingdom Chronicles by Baptiste Pensant Wu. And Kyle tells me that it's dealing with the Dong Zhuo stuff, which is pretty cool. So yeah, so I have a bunch of all that crap ain't getting read, y'all. It's all not getting read. So we'll see. So guys, what are you reading in March? What are you excited to read? I'm sure a bunch of you are super excited to read Philip's book because you're all traitors to the Empire and are siding with Dr. Chase's rebellion. But you know what? He has 20K subs, so I get it. I get it. So anyway, guys, that's it for me for today. As always, information about my Patreon and Discord is down in the description, and I'll see you next time, guys.